So I have this perfect system to eliminate distractions, to manage your time efficiently, and to simplify complex problems. The system covers 3 ultimate productivity hacks that will make you unstoppable. And best of all, you can use all of these 3 hacks together to achieve insane levels of productivity. And surprisingly, you've already practiced this for 20 years before abandoning it. Now, I have continued to use this system to great effect for many years now, and you can practically get this done for free, or if you're willing to invest, for about $50. So remember back in school with those 45 to 60-minute classes and short breaks? We got used to working in focused bursts. The school set the curriculum, divided it into semesters, and the teachers broke it down into individual classes. Think of it like this: your project is the subject, the semester is a big task, and each class is a calendar event. Now, without the structure from school, you face endless distractions. There's no set curriculum, no teachers breaking tasks into pieces, and new habits that ignore old ones. So in hack number 1, we regain control over those 45 to 60-minute slots. Now, I use a Pomodoro timer to achieve this. You could argue that I can use my phone, but then you'll have to contend with several distractions. So I use this one which has this orange dial. You can set this up for 60 minutes and you can count up or count down. And it has silent, vibrate, soft or loud ringer options. It charges via USB-C. Now let's talk about how I use this efficiently throughout my day. So as you might have guessed, I use a Pomodoro cycle and I call it the 55-5 system. 55 minutes of continuous work with a 5-minute break. And if I'm in a flow state, I continue for one more Pomodoro and take a 10-minute break at the end. So in total, I work for 11 hours. I start at 7 a.m., but then I set aside 1 hour and I have 10 Pomodoro cycles using this 55-5 system. Let's talk about that 1 hour that I set aside. So in the first 15 minutes of the day, I grab a cup of coffee. I use this clean canteen tumbler that keeps my coffee warm for the first half of the day, so I don't have to keep going for coffee breaks. And while I'm at it, my computer boots up simultaneously. I use the next 15 minutes to check my emails and plan for the day. And that's the perfect segue to our next hack. Remember our days in school where we had this curriculum, semesters, and then classes? So we just learnt how to be good in classes. Let's talk a little bit more about this curriculum and semesters. Now, to accomplish something similar, I use a system called the 12-week year. You might have guessed. From Brian Moran. Yes, I'm referring to that method and his book. So here's my simple version of it. So every year has 52 weeks. That's 4 pieces of 13 weeks. That means 4 12-week periods and 1 week to recalibrate. So in effect, I follow a 4-semester system. Set milestones for each semester and do more in-depth planning for the first semester. So I use this 1 week set aside for catching up on lost work if I slip on specific days. And then of course for planning. So my unit of accomplishment is 1 week. So I have something to talk about at the end of every week. And the visibility of this 12 weeks is much clearer than if you're trying to plan for the entire year. And best of all, no New Year resolutions. So even if I start doing this system in the middle of the year, doesn't really matter. I have a Notion template for this that's available on my website. Links are of course in the description. Now I combine all of this with a Moleskine diary. It's undated and I use this as a daily planner. I dump whatever is in my head and whatever I need to do for the day. And this acts as my control tower, frees me from distractions of looking at my laptop, my desktop, iPad, social media or my WhatsApp. And because it's undated, I can spread this across 2 pages. The left acts as my daily planner, the right one for all the notes that I want to take. But sometimes I have this great day with lots of thoughts, so I can take an extra 2 pages as spread to take my notes. But I always start on the left page. To go along with this, I use a customizable Japanese stamp called the Sachihata date stamp. Now this diary accompanies me wherever I go, capturing ideas as they come. Now I use a pencil and an eraser, keeping it traditional and flexible. I can erase if I make a mistake. I combine all of this with the Notion calendar and Notion Home. Now I put this all onto the left-hand side page. Now you might be wondering what happened to those balanced 30 minutes. You didn't talk about that. So I use that for calls, for quick email checks, planning for the next day, and to grab a quick bite. But we're still missing one key ingredient. That's hack number 3, gamification. So I use a stack of 30 double-sided blank credit card sized flashcards made of PVC. And I carry that around in a compact box with a few whiteboard markers. Now I write out 2 Pomodoro cycles on 5 of these and erase them by the end of the day. The other 25 are for brainstorming and organizing my thoughts. And it works brilliantly in places like a coffee shop, in the office, at home. Once done, I snap a picture of the arrangement to process my thoughts later. What makes these hacks ultimate is their simplicity, the intentionality, and the fact that they can all be used without spending any money or very little money. I love this system so much that I've introduced it to my daughter, who uses it with her own Pomodoro timer called the Tick Time Cube. If you want to boost your productivity even more, check out my Notion checklists video right here.